Huh.
Okay, welcome to IGNOU classrooms. Today we will discuss on এক মিনিট আমাদের ইয়েটা স্লাইডটা অন্য জায়গা থেকে এসেছে কেন জায়গাটা আসেনি আগে যাচ্ছে না বা কেন তো আসছে না ফার্স্ট স্লাইড যায়নি এখান থেকে তারপরে এখানে চলবে তো Okay, welcome to IGNOU classrooms. Today we will discuss on the fieldwork aspects of MSW. The course code is MSW L13 and 15. Though it is written here 13, but we will discuss the 15 also. Both the courses more or less same. So 13 MSW L13 for first year and MSW L15 for second year concrete fieldwork. The philosophy behind this, as you know that we are going through the theoretical classes, but you need to direct practice at the field. That we should follow some principles of philosophy for direct practice. Problems experienced by social work clients stem from lack of resources, knowledge and skill. So while we are in the field, so we may have lack of resources, knowledge and societal, systematic and personal resources, either alone or combination. So that problem should be there. So problem to exist. So note that everything will be clear and clean. So that is there. Otherwise you are not there. The clients are often affected with poverty, that malnourished and all these things, racism, sexism, heterosexism, discrimination, they also have lack of resources. That is the role of a social worker to negotiate with the systems and advocate for change to ensure clients access to rights, the resources available. They have some rights, that some government programs also, the resources and treatment with dignity, and they have some dignity, each and every one, though they may be poor or they may be illiterate, but dignity should be maintained. So each and every client, while we are in the field, we must respect each and every individual. Then help the client make decisions. Sometimes they are not able to take right decision at the right time. So working towards changing environmental influences, some cope up with the changing environment. Environment is surroundings, not their home environment, the outside, the political environment and all these economic environment. So prepare your client so that they are able to cope up with the situation. So then it's continue. Individual dysfunction is also there. So they are not able to cope up with the family, client or other people, organization. So role play. So often play educational function and sensitize service delivery system to more systematic approaches to problem, emphasizing health, strength and natural support system. We must ensure that sometimes the people are not aware of their strength and natural support. So that would be find out and help your client or the society people, so that they are able to find out their cope up with the situation with the support of the natural resources and their strength. So that should be emphasized. Sometimes the behavior of an individual behavior. So create that other social worker assist this client to facing these aspects of their difficulties. So individual problems create within the family and the outside also, even society. So they create problem. As you know, it is due to the their socialization problems. So individual may create some problem. So while we are in this organization or institution, so individual may behave in other ways. So that should be there, not that you will get everything clean. Some clients often helped by having accepting relationship with appropriate self-disclosure. Then relationship, with the so organization people. So that should be encouraged. The good relationship can help well. Allow them to see greater self-awareness and live more fully the reality of the moment. I would say then the reality, you should understand the reality of the situation. You also encourage your client to understand the reality. So these are the some philosophy behind it. While we're in the practice session at the organization, or even after that, we are going to the field. So these are the principles. You always remember that this is the situation we always respect and understood. Then filtering. What is filtering? We are going to. We have completed our theoretical classes. Now we are going to get handle knowledge and bridge between the theory and practice. So fieldwork training helps bringing professional theory into practice by social workers. We'll discuss later on that. You are supposed to go in a organization, it may be NGO or government setup or financial institution, whatever may be. So we have completed our theory portions. So we'll go for practice, just like lawyer or doctors. After completion, they used to go to the field, or they are working under their seniors, so that they are able to link their theory portion to practical purposes. This is here also the principle and methods of social work can not be practiced in a vacuum. So whatever we have learned, the 6 methods of social work, it may be individual, group or community organizations, but we have to practice. Social worker must move to the grassroots level to understand human problems. While we are in the institutions for field work, concurrent field work visit, so they provide best possible solutions. The problems do exist, but you will find some problems the organization are also facing. But how they are mitigating that problems, offering solutions. In other words, what is learned in classroom has to be verified. Yes, that is more important. We are teaching in the classroom sessions, but whether it is applicable or not, that could be tested. Hence, field practice is a bridge between the theory and practice. So it is already clear that what you have, as so far as it is a professional subject, so theory is not sufficient, but theory is also there, but without practice it is not completed. So it is a bridge between the, so you always remember while you are in the field. Then objective of field work. Why you are going for field work? Development of professional skills through learning. Yes, skill through learning. Learning in classroom. Now you are practicing learning skills. Skills only learn through practicing. Knowledge for study and analyze the problems and selection appropriate means to solve them. So while you are working with an NGO or in any other institutions, they are addressing some problems. How they are identifying the problems and how they are resolve those problems. What are the mechanism? How they are making relationship, how they are motivating, how the people are participating to overcome their problems. So that is your objective. The problem analysis is more important. Problem is there. The analysis means you learn what is the cause behind this. Who is responsible for this? Whether your client is able to overcome through this. Whether your client has resources to overcome this. What are the strength that will help to overcome those problems. So initially, your role to analyze, and you are going to an organization where some senior workers, they are working already in that area. So they will help you to analyze the problems. And later on, while you are in the job, you will also be able to analyze the problems. So more important that you have to analyze the problems. Then as soon as problem is identified, then you have to select the appropriate methods um, social work methods to solve those problems, the methods and the resources available. So the basic objective. Then second one is development skills in problem solving at micro and macro level. Micro level, it may be one individual or small group, but while you are in the community level, then how they are organizing mass meeting and how they are mitigating the major problems of that community. It may be social action movement or whatever may be. So minor problem and macro problem, both how they are addressing. And then integration of classroom learning with field practice. Yes, that is already discussed. Whatever you learn through your theory classes, then you have to integrate the classroom learning with field practice. That is more important. I will discuss it later on. While in the field, then every day you have to write what techniques are you learned today, and what methods and skill you have identified, and how the organizations are incorporating all these skills at that particular level of to overcome that particular problems. Development of skills required for professional practice at the particular level of training. Yes, you have first one, you identified the problem, you analyze the root cause of the problem, then you have to identify the appropriate skills required or methods required to address those problems. That is more important. You have 5-6 methods, but which one is appropriate to address these particular problems? So that you have to identify. In case of doctors, they examine you and they identify, and all doctors are not able to cure you. Say for instance ENT, heart and others, specialized doctors. So here also all problems are not to be addressed with single methods. So initially you have to identify the methods and skills required for to address a particular problem. That is more important. As soon as it is identified, then you can go that particular methods in details. That will help you to address the problems. Development of professional attitudes, values and commitment. We have already learned the professional values and commitment and the professional attitude. As soon as your skills are, you acquired your skills, automatically your attitude will be changed and it will be more strengthened while you will be in practicing. Automatically you will get confidence that you can do this. So without practice, your attitude and confidence will not last. So after completion of this fieldwork program, your confidence will build up, your attitude will be changed, that you are able, and your values, so for values and principles you will be practicing at the field level. You have already learned. Then sixth one, development of self-awareness and professional ideals. Self-awareness. Awareness means your theory portion will help you to aware at the grassroots level, sensitiveness, acceptance, whatever may be, and then professional ideals, and that will develop after completion of these fieldwork programs. Then fieldwork provide learning in the following areas. What will you learn after completion of this? In your fieldwork journal, you have to last page, there is a evaluation section. You have to write what have you learned out of this. Then participation in the process of help and change. That is more important. Then there are some changes there, so the problem is solved. Then what was the participation, your participation and the client's participation, both. Without the definition of social work says that you are helping the client so that he or she is able to overcome from that particular situation with his or her own, by utilizing his strength, weakness, and resources. So participation is more important of your client. Without involvement of a client, um, you cannot solve their problems. So after you withdraw, that situation may arise in future also. So you are preparing your client so that he or she will be able to solve his or her problem with his or her own resources or strength, whatever may be. So participation in the process of help, and your participation also, you are helping, but you are making rapport with the client, relationship with the client, that is participation. So both you will be learning after completion of this fieldwork program. Develop positive attitude, that we have already discussed, towards self and others, and that is more important. Positive attitude means that now you are confident that you can help the client, you are able to assist your client or a community, or your client mainly, your community people, with the help of your professional these methods and learning. So what have you learned in the classroom, theoretical portions? So your attitude will be changed after completion. If it is not there, then there may be something wrong. Acquisition and development of skills in teamwork, planning, and organization. That here also we are emphasizing learners to go in an organization, institution, in a team, not individually. While you are in the team, you'll learn something, you'll be sharing something. Today's life, most of the families are nuclear families, so they are not learning the sharing experiences. So while they are going in a field, the positive thing is that they can share each other. If there is some missing, the other student may help him or her to recall, or even in the organization, if some student missing some questions or queries, the other student may help to get that information from that particular organization. So acquisition and development of skills in teamwork, planning. And again, while you are entering an institution, you will find that they are also working in a team, and some programs are running, they are working towards that, a team coordinated way. So both, you are also in a team and you are learning that they are in a team. So planning, and how they are planning and organizing things to accomplish this program. So that will also help you. And mostly now we are not sharing, we are individualistic. So after completion of this, you will learn how to work in a team. Then experience of taking responsibility to deal with critical situation. Yes, sometimes we avoid if there is a critical situation within the family or somewhere else. But while in the organization, most of the time you are going to the poor people, grassroots level, they may reject you, or some self-interest may arise, some critical situation you will face. You will observe that the organization people, the staff members, how they are handling these critical situations. That should be there, but you have to handle those. So you will be learning how these organization people handling the critical situation. Sometimes you are also facing some critical situation at the organization level. So that you will also learn. Then experience of confrontation with oneself as a means to self growth and its use in action. Confrontation within you also. Then some contradiction, you may think that it is not possible, it is theoretical only, but it is not possible to overcome the situation. So that type of confrontation within you will arise, and that your agency supervisor and the field supervisor will help you for your growth. That how can it be in action? So confrontation, self-confrontation will be there, and you will be learning from your agency supervisor to overcome from that particular situation. Then content of fieldwork. Three components are there initially. Then social agency is there, and the student and the supervisor. You are going to an agency for fieldwork, so agency must be there, and you are going there, and in between your supervisor, both agency supervisor and the fieldwork supervisor, they are helping so that your learning process will be completed. So training is a vital role. Agency plays a vital role. Actually, they are the people, they are working and they have some experiences. The social worker is also working there. So they have the workshop where the placement of learner presupposes that the student become a part of the agency. So while you are in the agency, so your involvement shows that is a part of the agency. You are also feeling that I am one of the agency. Supposed to maintain sound and healthy relationship with the agency. Sometimes the agency people they are reluctant to spend time with you. You may be that from morning you are waiting, but they are busy with their some other preoccupations. So you have to make relationship with the agency people, your supervisor, so that they cooperate with you. You are not paying for them, so it is the only relationship and rapport with the organization, and cooperate with their time, and they will be able to serve you while you are in the office. Then administration of the office, hierarchy of the staff, comment, and the channels of information in the agency. During your orientation visit, you have already learned that organization structure that shows the administration structure of the office, the hierarchy, and who is commanding the lower levels, the other support staff. So that we will also learn the structure and everything. So the student, the agency is your workshop. So you are entering in the workshop, but they are always busy with their jobs. So your job is to make rapport with the agency people and relationship, so that they feel that you are with them, you are the part of the agency. So it will be easy to learn from there also. If you make relationship, social work relationship is more important. So you have to make relationship with the people. Then lastly, the office structure, administration, the role clarification, according to hierarchy. It may be the director, assistant director, chief coordinator, and supervisor. Each and every level, how they are functioning and who is reporting whom. So that should be learned. So three components work together, and supervisor roles is more important, that he or she will help you to learn in depth, and your role is to make relationship and be open so that you can learn more from the agency. After completion of this program, they will not allow to go to the field days. It is because you are a student of IGNOU, so they are allowing you to know everything. So that should be remembered. And guidelines for students. Then fieldwork tips. Some tips are there. Not the same of NSS, which you do some activities. It is not a place to satisfy in radical activities which aim at bringing about social changes that one desires. First and foremost, it is a learning process. Yes, you are not there to do something. You are like NSS program. You have to do something. If they allow, end of your last portion of your field activities, then they may assign some task. But initially, it is not like an NSS program that you will do something. But you always remember that you are there to learn. So then know your limitations. Your limitation is also there. That is already done. That you are a student. You are going to do. It may be that some students they are already working in the field. They are working with some NGOs or government. So till you are a student, you always remember that you are there to learn something from that particular organization, and your local supervisor, agency supervisor will guide you to bridge between this theory and practical. You will visit the organization for a limited period. That should remember. You are there for 30 days or 45 days as concurrent field visit. You are not there for a whole year. So do not plan ambitious program which require frequent meetings with the person concerned and a lot of resources. So while you are in the field, they may ask you to help in such a way that requires some meeting and some lot of resources, but which is not with your control. The organization may not support you. So don't commit them. As because you are there, you try to communicate with your client that you are there for a limited period of time. Only thing that you can say that I can discuss this matter with your office staff, my supervisor, but I am not the right person to help at this moment. I am a student, but I will communicate that whatever you are asking, what you need. So please do contact with your office staff. So that is your limitation. You are there only for 45 days. So don't make commitment. Know the limitation of the agency also, that I have already discussed. You may find that they have lack of personnel, lack of funds, lack of motivation, poor leadership, lack of infrastructure, poor relationship with the community, fractionism, corruption, but that has to be accepted. While you are in the field, they will find that they need some material, as because they are poor, the people are less motivated, as because you have less personnel, and the fund whatever they are providing is not sufficient. Suppose they are running educational programs that they say that we need some books and pens or something else, but the organization they have some shortage of fund, and even while in the community you will find that the staff members are not well attached with the community people. The community peoples are not participating, or even your organization staff, they are not participating with the community. So that is there. Even some fractionism, groupism, corruption. You just omit them. That should be there. Each and every organization, there may be some loopholes, but you are there to look some positive things. Being a student, and even you do not try to criticize all these things. All these drawbacks are there, and if it is possible, if your relationship is good, then at the office level you can discuss. Try to avoid this. Use the journal meaningfully. The journal is written very wisely and in details. If there is any problem, you go through the journal. Everything is written, and you try to communicate with the field of supervisor. Whenever you are in problems, they will clear you they'll give you some guidelines while you are in the agency. So these are some tips. Then attendance at field work. So attendance Initially, you have to visit 5 individual organizations. It may be NGO, Panchayat Samiti, financial institution, and for 1 day orientation visit. Then you should attend 45 days field work in a year in a particular organization. Attendance at the field work is to be for the full day, and leaves have to be compensated with full field work on other days. Sometimes the people, those who are working, they say that it is not possible to complete the field work continuously. There is an option that full day, but while in the office, then you have to spend full day. Then if you are not going 5 days or 6 days, and then leave, then you have to compensate with full field work in other days. Or within 3 months, 6 months, and within a year, you have to complete 45 days. But 45 days means 45 full working days. Some students they ask, continuously you have to complete. If it is possible, then continuously complete. But some people, they are in the job, they are allowed to complete within a year. So Sunday and Saturday, they are allowed to go to the office if they are open, or holidays. If the organization is allowed, then you can complete within a year, but not beyond that. That should be communicated to your field work supervisor. But that flexibility is there, that you are allowed to complete within a year. Normally, most of the students, they complete 45 days within 2 months, excluding Sundays and holidays. So it is it takes 60 days to complete 45 days field work. So both are there. So you can do this. Then attendance at fieldwork conference. So this 45 days fieldwork, that is, let me complete. While you are in the office, you should stay at least 6 hours, or the organization allow you to work, it may be in the morning or in the afternoon, but depends upon the agency's timing. Then attendance at fieldwork conference. Yes, initially your fieldwork supervisor will arrange a induction meeting before conducting this 45 days or orientation visit. The first meeting with your fieldwork supervisor is called induction meeting. That says the aims and objectives, what we have already discussed, aims and objectives of fieldwork, and the purpose of fieldworks. But then they will say that initially you will go for 5 days, and why 45 days, why 5 days, and then client relationship with the client, everything will be discussed. After discussion with your field work on first day, that is induction meeting. But while you are in the field, are you in the field, then you will find some problems. So you immediately contact with your field work supervisor physically or over telephone, that you are facing these problems, and your field work supervisor will try to resolve those problems. So that you have to write in a page for individual conference. So it is there. It is not a vague discussion on social work topics, but are specific to your problems. So after induction meeting, you are going to visit some organization. Induction meeting, it is clear, the aims and objectives and your limitation, everything is there. What we have already discussed today. Till while at the you are in the field, you face, it may be that you are writing, how to write all these things. So you immediately contact your fieldwork. Minimum 5 individual conference is required. If it is more than, normally it is more than, but you have to write 5 individual conference. So while you are in the field, you will be facing lot of problems. So that is required. And some problems are there that it is not your individual problems, but as you are going in a group, so major problems are there to understand, or the organization may have some problems, the organization is also creating, you are not cooperating, whatever may be, you are calling your field work supervisor, or you are meeting in the place of your study center, so that is called group conference. So minimum 5 individual conference you have to write. So you are always in touch. The purpose is that the students, though they are doing distance mode courses, but they are in touch. So your teacher, field work supervisor guiding each and every time. So that should be reflected in the group work conference report. So minimum 5 individual conference and 5 group conference you have to write. Then how to arrange the sequential arrangement. So first I have already discussed the orientation visit is there, 5 orientation visit. For that purposes there is a format I will discuss now. Then placement is 45 days, we call it concurrent visit also. So after completion of 5 days 5 orientation visit, you have to select one organization for in-depth study, that 45 days. So out of 5 you have to select one for 45 days. Then agency client relationship, assignment of task, nature of social work process, teamwork, administrative assignment, recording, field instruction. I will discuss in details. The guidelines for agency profile, orientation visit, name of the institution, that format is there with your journal book, guidelines of agency profile, how to, what are the areas you will cover, the name of the institution, address, mission statement, motto, institutional objective, and mission statement is something different because it's a overall goal of the agency, and mission statement is how to reach those goals. Then chief executive officer, secretary, director, whatever may be, its name and address. Then board members, it may be board members or executive governing body, whatever may be. Sometimes student says that board member is not there. Board means they are functioning body. How they are functioning, it may be governing body, executive committee, whatever may be. Type of work, the projects, they are working in areas. Areas means health or environment, what are the programs they are running, number of target group and beneficiaries. If it is there that they are working for the children, then how many children are they are covering, and numbers of children in the areas, how many villages they are covering. The geographical area of the work, geographical area means how many blocks or how many villages or within the state or outside the state, that you have to mention that particular organization, whether the agency registered or not. Most of the NGOs registered under Societies Registration Act, so that you have to write this registration number. If their annual activity report is there, so that is available, the number of registrations. Then income tax registration also there, 12A, 80G and FCRA. If they have, that you just write. Then continuation, organizational structure, that I have already discussed, first, second slide. The simple diagram may be drawn, the hierarchy. And the agency is a branch of a larger organization, its place in the larger organization can be shown. So this is a hierarchy, the secretary, then the assistant secretary, and below there the account section, coordinator, like that. It is there with their annual reports also you will find. So that shows their hierarchy. The number of staff members, a table is also there. How many professional staff, support staff, volunteers. If there is a professional staff, then their qualification, it may be doctor, agriculture, MSW, like that. A table is there that you have to fill up. Number of staff members. The organizational structure, it's already discussed. And then one more important, the history of the organization. Each and every organization will find some history. Who the inspiration, where from? Trace briefly the organization from its inception, growth of decline of the number of activities. Initially, how they started. It may be that they started from a night school, then training program, then agriculture and health, which year, and who initiated these, where from they got, who motivated them to form this organization like this. Each and every organization, there is a history. Most importantly, the agencies rationally for the services provided. Then rationale behind this, why they are providing services to this community. So all these are available with the annual report, or you discuss with the secretary or senior staff member. They will discuss regarding this. Then source of funding, foreign funding, government, you have to write. Not need to go in details. The organization may not provide, but source of funding initially, all organizations, the public donation is there and membership subscription is there. Then infrastructure facilities, building, transport system, communication, audiovisual equipment, relationship with other agencies, panchayat and NGOs and government. The future, whether they have any future plan, they have recently started small organization. Now they are planning to form, establish a hospital, whatever may be. If recognition, if there is any award from the government or international organization, for what purposes and which year, you have to mention. And after that, if there is any more information which is not mentioned here, you can write. Then learning process, that this is more important. You are there to learn something. So write your own impressions on the agency, compare the agency with other agencies you have visited, note down the strength and weaknesses of the agency. So whatever you learn, the knowledge and skill, that will help in future. So learning process must be there. After returning from this organization visit, you will discuss with your parents that you have learned something today's activities and what are the new skills you acquired. So that is the last point of your orientation visit. Now this placement for 45 days visit, which deals with the social problems, human problems. It is a multi-purpose agency. One should focus on the study of problems that we have already discussed. How they study their problems, appraisals from in 6th paper also. You'll go for a study how to make a quick appraisal of a particular community problems. So if your community organization allow how, or you can learn how they are making the project proposals and how they are getting the information from the community to learn the problems, how the organization is dealing. Then you must familiar with all the methods of social work. This is an excellent opportunity to try out all methods of social work in the field. Each and every time you ask your agency supervisor, here a particular which one methods are applying to this particular organizations, integrated methods of social work. Further, the answer to question is that for 2 years of the learners are provided with information regarding a wide variety of subjects, are also given a number of opportunities to use the skills learned. That is the more important. That important opportunity. The organization is doing implementing lot of programs. Initially start with the problem, then how they are addressing the problem. So every day you have to write 3.5 pages. Initially you write, later on what have you done today. Then you ask some question. Agency client relationship. Yes. Initially you have to write 1 or 2 pages. What have you? What is your activity today? Then you find out the today's activity, the agency, the relationship with the client. What are the agency's major activities? What projects does the agency have for its clients? What is the approach towards the client? Is it right based? They have some rights, but they are not able to reach. So agency is trying to get the programs. It is secular, humanist, religious, or philanthropical organizations. Then how do the clients see the projects provided by the agency? Most of the time the student asks me, what is the agency client relationship? So you please remember all these points. The meaning of the client's relationship, how the agencies are working at field level, and the relationship with the client the beneficiaries. Does the agency offer casework services in a professional manner? Not only casework services, group work or community service in a professional way. what have you learned, what are the options. You may have some problems that the casework, group work, all those method papers are in second year, but you are doing fieldwork 13 first year. So it may not be clear, but you try to get some information from fieldwork supervisor, agency supervisor regarding these methods of casework, group work, community organizations. So what are the options of the agency staff towards the casework process? Do they see the process as a waste of time? Their opinion. Sometimes the field staff, they may not be a social worker, they may only graduate, but how they are operating, how they are helping, extending individual case studies. Do other professionals understand the value of casework? Yes. What is the attitude of the medical practitioner towards the casework? You will find that the initially for me also, say 40 years back, it was very difficult to convince them the professionals, it's a professional subject, it's required to help the people. Now it is more easy to, still there are some people, they do not understand the subject. So how their attitude, what is the attitude, the other professionals? Then some of the principles of casework can be practiced only with the cooperation of other staff members. Say for instance, principle of confidentiality. Do other staff members understand the importance of maintaining records? As I already discussed, they are not the student of, or they not completed the BSW or MSW. So principles and practice with the cooperation of the other staff members. So we try to convince them this method, it is not possible to do casework without the confidentiality, privacy. What is their attitude towards group work process? Same group work and field work, whatever may be. We try to understand their attitude. Do the agency staff practice group work? What is the opinion of the staff members? Again, same. Infrastructure is available or not? If it is a group work, then you have to sit with the group members in a particular situation. The confidentiality should be there, so that they can talk each other freely. What facilities do they provide to the learners for conducting group work process? Same. Then yes, assignment of tasks. Your field work, while you are 45 days field work, first point is that assignment of tasks. So not first point. You are there to observe, to learn, all those, but sometimes the organization may assign something to help them. Say for instance, they may ask you for making a survey in a particular community. So it is possible for you, for example, in the initial stage, one has to establish contact while you are in the community, contact with the community or group with the situation using techniques. So that is there. Then example, initial stage you are planning, initial contact with the group, rapport building with the people, study the situation, list out objective programs in quantitative and qualitative terms. So initial stages your work, that you have to mention, develop a realistic time frame when you are going to complete this situation. Then planning stage, prepare a plan, then implementation, implement the plan. Tasks can be undertaken, some illustrative activities, individual related activities, arrange a job. Sometimes if you are assigned to help a particular people, arrange a job for a person who has to be rehabilitated. Then arrange a loan, the government scheme for a needy persons while in the field. They may ask you to help something, and then arrange a patient to be taken to the hospital using a volunteer. Say for TB patient, they are not using the medicine regularly. And then group or community, arrange adult education classes also. You can organize. Problem countered by organizing the events. Lack of cooperation. There may be some that we have already discussed. The lack of cooperation, and hostility from the people, target group, and from the organization member. Lack of resources also there. Nature of social work process activities. Social work will interact with number of people. to get information, knowledge about the various fields and actual functioning of the institutions, to develop ability, expectation from the student. Yes, that is more important. Behave in a professional and sincere manner. Yes, write down important points, ask relevant queries, not negative questions. That we have already discussed. So, interest to know more about the agencies. Teamwork we have already discussed. Administrative tasks already discussed. Recording, this is there. The proper format should be used. File or book, enter into information. Nature of social work settings, correctional settings. This last slide. The correctional setting, prison, police station, juvenile system, civic administration, social welfare departments, education department, health, home for the destitute, disaster affected peoples, home for the weaker section, women, children, beggars and elderly. Right, these are the areas you can do your field work. Hospital, PSC, BPSC, care and support agencies, counseling centers, then palliative care centers where not elderly people, some neglected people care are being taken. Visit to media centers, financial institutions, corporate sectors. So all these areas you are able to complete your field work. So thank you. It's a very short time, and I will conclude with thanks.